So the Elon Musk and Donald Trump clown show continues, and today we're talking about robots and recession. That's the subject of today's video, and check this out from one of the Tesla cult members.
All right, so I'm just chilling at the Fremont factory here at Tesla, and look at what I got right here. It's a fully autonomous Model 3 that just finished production, and it's driving to the shipping yard. This is the future. This is crazy. I can't imagine. This is just wild.
So that's one of the Tesla fanboys there. You can see Tesla owners of Silicon Valley. This guy's got like this fan club thing. He sets up events, etc. And Elon Musk then retweets it and promotes it. So what's going on here, and why are we talking about robots and recession? Because this is Elon Musk's plan for you, is to replace you with robots. Take all of your driving jobs. And I laugh because it's like, if you understand how ridiculous this stuff is, remember, Trump is promising you to bring the jobs back to America. You're all going to have jobs. And Elon Musk's plan is to replace you with robots and AI, etc. This is the center to understanding Elon Musk. He wants to then remove regulations to get his products on the road that don't work and that are going to injure you. On top of that, and I want you to understand this because this creates the fuller picture of U.S. history, which they misrepresent. Elon Musk and Donald Trump will try to tell you all the time, oh, yes, it's those minorities, it's those women, those dark people, they're all taking your job, etc., right? That's what they always want to tell you. Check this out. This is a chart, and this is from the government. It says all employees manufacturing, right? And basically, the percentage of Americans who work in factory jobs is gone down over time. I'm showing you the chart right here. So back, say, in the 1940s, you're talking like World War II era, you're looking at close to what, 38, 40%, like kind of in that range of people that were working in factory jobs. So there were a lot of these kind of jobs. But that trend has been going down for years. You can see it right there on the chart. Now we're what, 2025. You're probably looking at 7-8% kind of in that range of the percentage of workers that actually work in factories. And the question I pose to you is, can Donald Trump reverse time, reverse history, and bring all those factory jobs that are all gone, largely due to automation? Because again, that's what Elon Musk is promoting, replacing you with robots. Can he basically cancel all of that and say, guys, we're not going to use robots anymore in factories, and in fact, we're going to bring all these jobs back? And on top of that, these are the jobs that you want. Because it is true, you got automation, and also too, you have jobs that are overseas, but there's a complicated issues with this stuff. As I'm trying to point it with you guys, is that there's more factors than just, the immigrants are taking your jobs. And that's essentially what Donald Trump is trying to make the case. If you want to see more of the stock promoters, again, they're promoting robots replacing you with, robot drivers. You can see that kind of stuff here. And they also pump up the stock pricing. Hey, guys, we're all going to be replaced with robots. Let's celebrate. We've had this discussion before the last couple of videos because now much of the MAGA land is realizing, oh my God, Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to fire me. What? They're starting to regret voting for said groups. To further illustrate this point, because this is stuff that Elon Musk tweets out all the time, you can see here March 10th, just grok it. He's promoting his AI thing. So again, this AI stuff is going to replace you as humans. And then Elon Musk, March 8th, do you support Doge reducing government waste and fraud, right? This poll, and like obviously it's on his platform, so people are like, yes, and super yes. So why are we talking about waste and fraud? So basically, it's sort of a rebranding of regulations. From Musk's point of view, he wants to remove regulations, right? Remove protections so he can get his cars on the road that aren't ready. He wants to get AI out there that may not be safe, right? May steal your data, do any number of things. Remove regulations so he can make as much money as he possibly can, that kind of stuff. And then take your job. And he gets all these people to go along with it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, because it can convince you that it's waste and fraud that we have protections. It's kind of ridiculous. On top of that, this is what's going on, is people are waking up to it and seeing what Musk is up to. And this is actually kind of funny. There were protests over the weekend. This person had a sign. It says, my Tesla takedown sign is the immigrant, right? That's Elon Musk. This is the immigrant taking your job. You also have this kind of stuff. Hate doesn't sell, just ask Tesla. Another one, a Nazi enabler is just a Nazi. Frankly, people are realizing, yes, that Elon Musk, is putting out a bunch of junk, right? You can see this here. Teslas are junk, people over profits, right? This kind of stuff. Boycott Tesla, meaning that, right, if you really want to join the fight against Elon Musk. Just don't buy his products. Don't give him money. That hurts him considerably. The other thing is ask your local representatives to don't approve Musk technology, be it AI to replace you or be it robot cars out there to replace all drivers. And again, their technology doesn't work anyway. But even if it did, right, it would replace all of you and you'll all be out of a job. So neither option is that great. And you have all these people protesting, which I totally understand. It makes Elon Musk mad. He's actually talking about it all the time. And even on, this is on the Tesla, building, it says, "We hate him too," which is kind of funny, one of the employees. And then what's crazy about the Elon Musk and Donald Trump stuff is they're trying to pretend like a recession's not coming. These are the headlines from Bloomberg Financial News. You can see here, Trump says U.S. economy faces, quote, transition, avoids recession call. So they're basically trying to, fire all of you and pretend like there's going to be no recession. And obviously it's going to have an effect on communities. So check this out. This is the description of it. It says, President Donald Trump said the U.S. economy faces, quote, a period of transition, right? Deflecting concerns about the risks of a U.S. slowdown as his early focus on tariffs and federal job cuts cause market turmoil, right? This is their plan. Replace you with robots, replace you with AI. Now they want to do tariffs, right? So basically tax, increase the cost of all of your goods, and then cut your jobs at the federal level, right? On top of that, I guess he was giving an interview on Fox News Sunday. This is from a quote from Trump, quote, "I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition," right? He's trying to deflect the recession talk because what we're doing is very big. Right? Like, hey, Trump, are you going to go into recession? Well, I hate to predict things like that. We're just in a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. Also says, while declining to address the question, basically he dodged, Trump's response broadly aligns with his speech to Congress last week and a flurry of recent comments from top administration officials, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. At the core of the Trump team's argument is the prospect of tax cuts and tariff revenue down the road that officials contend will spur the economy. Their plan, again, is replace you with robots, replace you with AI, give tax cuts to rich people, reduce regulations so Elon Musk can then do all these things to replace you. Like, do you understand? Like, their plan is pretty ludicrous. And then increase taxes for poor people, decrease taxes for rich people, these kind of stuff. That's what their plan is. Trump then tweets this out. This is on March 9th, and this is like one of the right-wing influencer people wrote an article. And the title of the article, which is actually pretty funny, "Shut Up About Egg Prices. Trump is saving consumers millions," right? That's what they're trying to convince you. Just stop complaining about prices. He's actually saving you. And it's like, what are you talking about? And that's perfect gaslighting. We had reports that Elon Musk and Marco Rubio were fighting, right? This was in a meeting. Trump is going to deny that, right? Trump says, I'm just showing you guys different sides. Trump says, Elon and Marco have a great relationship. Any statement other than that is fake news. I'll let you guys be the judge, right? I'm just showing you what they're saying. And, this is the problem that a lot of companies have is like, how can you take anything that Trump says seriously? And plus, he changes his mind all the time. And so then you have this. Companies warn investors that Doge's federal cuts might hurt business. Yeah, of course it is, right? We talked about before in that West Virginia town where, essentially the higher paying jobs were part of the federal jobs, right, that were cut. And I think they lost like 140 some jobs. And local businesses were already saying, we're going to have to, not hire so much for seasonal help. Those were some of our better customers and patrons, that kind of thing. This gives you more example of the cuts that Musk wants to make and how companies are responding. It says federal government contractors say that they are still unclear, so not sure, unclear which parts of their business may be on the chopping block. The administration is seeking to cut non-essential contracts from every department, according to an email the acting GSA administrator sent to all agency heads last month, right? So Washington Post saw the email. The uncertainty, because we're not sure what do you mean by non-essential, because they could, name any number of things that's up to, Musk and Trump, etc. The uncertainty has spread even to some companies that don't directly rely on government contracts. For example, some drug makers warned that cuts to the Food and Drug Administration could slow down drug approvals. And two real estate businesses with large footprints in Washington, D.C. said that mass firings of federal workers could decrease demand for their properties. So that's just a couple of examples, but frankly, when you lay off like really a lot of workers that they're looking at, it's going to have ripple effects throughout the whole USA. You're seeing it as well, and then I'm just going over the various financial news. It's just all over. It's like tariff talk, tariff talk. People are calling their financial advisors. What do they do? And everyone's concerned about this because, frankly, what's going to happen? Trump puts in his tariffs, raises the costs, right, for businesses. Then the businesses, and this would be American companies, right, importing companies, then they're going to pass the cost on the consumers. It's going to raise the cost for consumers. Basically, it's a tax. And then as things start to go higher in price, consumers are going to cut back on their spending, right? Because you're like, wow, Walmart's not so cheap anymore. That's not great because a lot of those products say come from other countries where they're cheaply made. They bring in those products, and Trump's promising you lower prices, but it's not like we're going to suddenly move all these factories back to the USA. That's why I showed you this chart, and I can show it to you again back in the beginning. This has been a trend for years to where Americans just aren't that kind of country anymore. We're not going to go back to where 40% of Americans work in a factory like in the World War II era. It's not gonna happen. And here's the other thing is too is like, let's say for example Trump institute all his plans. Just for example, let's say Trump and Musk got all their goals and things aligned. What happens in 3-4 years and when the new administration comes in, right? That's why companies are just like, well, do I really want to invest into all the Trump and Musk stuff? Do I want to follow their game plan when it could change in 4 years? Actually, many companies have been essentially this would be behind closed door kind of stuff, talking with Trump of like, hey, you can't just undo everything that Biden did because we already made plans to roll out products related to current standards and regulations. If you don't know, and I'm just talking about cars because it's a good example. Car companies will do the R&D and planning for new models years in advance, right? And they'll do that to meet current standards and requirements. And so if you keep changing this stuff every couple of years, then companies can't plan. I'm just giving an example of car companies. Any number of companies have to deal with logistics concerns as well when you're bringing products from outside the country, et cetera. And, let's say, Donald Trump would make you promises that, oh, we'll give you lots of subsidies and tax benefits, these kind of things. That's the other issue is that you can't believe anything these people say because they're known for not keeping their promises. So their whole regime, leadership, plans, et cetera, don't make a lot of sense. It's unclear and there's a lot of uncertainty. That's why you're seeing it in the markets. You also see it too in the bond market where, they seem to be looking at towards recession as well. People are basically like, you know what? The way that it's looking, and this is the interesting thing, is that we're looking at many problems. Like no one can predict the future 100%, but we're looking at possible growth scare. That is a major concern. My particular point of view is I think we're probably looking at stagflation, right? I think unemployment will probably go up, which is what we're looking with, federal job cuts that will ripple throughout the economy. Inflation looks to be probably here to stay. At least the way that everything, you can see it, right? I mean, what do you think is going to happen to your prices when those tariffs kick in? Then we have a possible trade war where if other countries raise their tariffs and USA raises back, prices will go up again. And then you put that on with the job losses. It just doesn't look great. And we're also talking about an economic cycle to where we had a period where there was a bunch of investment into the AI and crypto and stuff like that. But what if it doesn't pan out? What if it turns out, which it is, that crypto's a big Ponzi? It's not going to produce all those jobs that Trump is promising you. Like he literally is like, oh yeah, we're going to be the crypto capital of the world and look at all these wonderful jobs. But it's like, okay, so promoting financial Ponzi's and financial scams is going to create jobs. Like for who? Like that's like they're none of their plans add up. And this is sort of why this chart's so important because I understand the pain that people feel. There's a lot of people that say, hey, I want my old factory job back. I want that life to where I don't have to have any, skills or training. And I want to be able to just, go to work or whatever in whatever factory making whatever widgets and go back to the time that doesn't exist anymore. It's just not going to happen. And so these sort of snake oil salesmen like the Trump and the Musk then can take people's desperation to, sell you a false hope. And I hate to be mean about it, but I just want to show you the truth of this stuff, guys. These jobs aren't coming back. And then, Trump partners with Musk who wants to replace you with robots, which sort of reiterates that route that we've been going to automation, which is a thing. And then he wants to remove regulations to, get more of those stuff on the road. So hope I understand the sort of complexities and all these things that are here, and want to track this stuff every day with you guys, and we'll see how people respond. So do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next video.